I read the other day that on the homestead, if you don't have 100 projects going, you're not doing it right. And there may be some truth to that. Hey everyone, this is Martin, and Shelley is the smart one. She is down in the cabin where it's warm. And so, yeah, here a while back, probably last fall, a good friend of mine came down to see us down here, and he looked around and he says, man, you guys got stuff going on all over the place down here. And, you know, I kind of laughed at it. I thought, yeah, it does look that way. But everything has its purpose, and it's being done in its sequence. And so, yeah, there's probably 100 things down here that need to be done. And, you know, if you're thinking about starting a life or a lifestyle like this, back to the land, out on a homestead, off-grid place, especially if you're going to break it open as raw land and make something out of it, you're going to have 100 things going on at the same time. And you know what? They all need to be done. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you a quick tour of what it looks like when you have something like that going on. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Okay, so starting up here by the very front of the property, we've got washouts in the road. Now these aren't very bad, but Shelley wants me to put a culvert underneath the driveway to avoid the washouts. But honestly, right now the washouts aren't bad enough. I can repair these. I usually end up repairing this about twice a year, and it takes about a bucket full of gravel and about an hour's worth of fiddling around here. And I can do that for the next 5 years and take me less time than it would be to put a culvert in. But someday, that's on the list, needs to be done. The next thing we got is a bunch of logs over here. There must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There must be about a dozen and a half of them. And the utility company, the local utility company, cut these down when they were clearing power lines. And they were trying to figure out how to get rid of them. And I said, well, you can leave them here if you want to. I'll take care of them. And so they said, well, you want them? I said, you bet. So there's a bunch of firewood that I've got to take care of. But we've got firewood everywhere. So, you know what? That's on the list of things that need to be done too. All right, next on the list is a bunch of little cedar poles. And, you know, I'm not sure what I'm saving these for, but I'll use them somewhere. And they make really good poles because you can put them in the ground and they won't rot. More firewood. There's always more firewood. More firewood. Over there's more firewood, and way down there is more firewood. All stuff that we took out of the garden, which is, there's the garden area and the container. All right, here's a bunch of chunky fill rock that I've been piling up that I had to pull out of where the old driveway was. And that will be going down to use as fill down in our basement when we reach the point where we need to have some down there. And there's some more of it over there. And then this pile is called 1-inch clean rock. And clean means it doesn't have the fines in it, so water will penetrate and drain through it. So this is what we're using on the tile drains down in the basement and around the basement footings. This rock is road base, so it's crushed rock, 1 inch and smaller, and we're making cement out of this, and it also repairs the road. Over here in the woods is compost and a big pile of chicken litter. And all of that has got to go into the garden sometime before spring, so we can kind of boost up the garden beds. More firewood and more cedar poles. Now we're over by the garden, and the tree that I took out last week that was hanging over my cargo trailer, we discovered was hollow. And as I was cutting it up into firewood, Shelley said, stop! She wanted to turn it into planters. So here are springtime projects for the planters. And then of course there's sand for the cement making down in the basement. Now I'm at the garden. We're going to go in here and see all the things that needs to be done in the garden. First thing you'll notice is that the container is half painted, and Shelley was working on that last fall, but it kept either raining or getting cold, and so she got all of it done except this one little corner in the front. And we got tomato cages and tomato plants that we got to pull out and get rid of in preparation for spring. And here is the beginning of our rainwater collection tank that is going to be for collecting rainwater off the top of the container. Now I'm in the greenhouse, and we have got, once fall got here, this place turned into a storage container. And so we've got aquaponic stuff over here that we were using last year but never did finalize. And got some boards to prop this up. We're supposed to be getting snow this coming week, and I want to get the ridge of this propped up so that it does the weight of the snow doesn't collapse it, or the ice. There's not a whole lot to do in the garden. I mean, we really got it done pretty well last summer, but we do have to take out, there's like a tree here that's in front of the solar panels that's got to come out. I still don't have all of the fencing attached to the posts, but that seems to be okay. That may have to go for another year before I get around to that. Okay, we started putting a little bit of a fence around this side of the garden, and I got that far before something else got my attention, so I've got to kind of finish that over to the corner. And I have no doubt that there's stuff in here that I'm missing, but I just can't think of what it is right at the moment. So now we're moving over to another area, and we've got almost 1,000 cement blocks sitting here, all staged on the hillside, ready to go down to where we're using them in the basement. The problem is there was just not enough room down there where they wouldn't all be in the way, so we took about half of them down there and left half of them up here. So as we use them up down there, we'll start taking them down from on the hillside here. More firewood. This stuff was given to us, and we hauled it in and just dumped it here because it was raining and we wanted to get it done quick. More cedar, and I actually do have a plan for this because these are big posts, and they've got some of them are marked for furniture, some of them are marked for an outdoor shelter that we're going to build. More firewood. This is all stuff that we took out of the garden area and the house building area, and we've been splitting it up and making firewood out of it. So this is something that when we can't do anything else, we can always come up here and do this because it's sheltered from the rain, and it can be done while it's cold out. This is our future woodshed, and it doesn't have a roof on it yet. So this was another one of those things that we got started on in the fall when we were splitting wood, and something else more important got our attention, and we had to break away from this. But the next thing that goes on here is the roof. And one of our more recent videos was us cutting this big tree down, so we've got more firewood. Or if I can't get the firewood cut up in time, Shelley will make planters out of it. Then here we are down to the basement, where there's more things going on here than I even want to try to count. But right in here is basement and cement work. Earlier this winter, we got new batteries for our solar system, and I pulled the old ones out, and they're right there. And those batteries are going to partly become part of something that I'm going to be building up at the greenhouse in the garden area, so that we can provide some lighting inside the container, and also power some water pumps and things like that for irrigation. So anyway, that's all that. And here's our cabin. And I could count 30 things just inside the cabin, and we're not going to go in there and look at all of them because there's just too many. But there's probably 30 things inside the cabin that I could be working on right now. And, it's just by the time I get done, it's like I don't feel like doing anything more. So anyway, things in the cabin too. Okay, so there you have it. More things than we know what to do with ourselves. There's enough things to keep us busy right now for 5 years. And, oh, you know what? I still have work down over there to do too. Still have to cover the rest of the septic tanks. Oh, and there's more firewood. More firewood here. If you don't have 100 things going on, you're not doing it right. Hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and we'll see you next time. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like and a share, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell. See you next time.